and Some Beach Somewhere now is cruising down the stretch drive. The 10th Battle of Waterloo. Final goes to Some Beach Somewhere and Paul MacDonnell.
Some Beach Somewhere, a perfect 5 for 5, 26 seconds on the end of it. He's home in 1:51, and that is a Champlain Stakes record. Some Beach Somewhere leads by 4 lengths here in deep stretch, and they are not going to touch Some Beach Somewhere, who barely broke a sweat to win tonight's third Metro Pace elimination, and he is home in 1:52 and 1:27 and 4 on the end of it. Some Beach Somewhere, 16th to go. Moonbeam not going to catch him. Some Beach Somewhere, and Big Mac scoop up the big bucks to win the Metro Pace. He won by 2 lengths, and he's home in 1:49 and 3. A world record performance in the final of the Metro Pace. A stunning sophomore debut to win the second division of the Burlington Stakes. All wrapped up, Some Beach Somewhere in 1:51 and 3. He's big, he's strong, and he has got it going on. Some Beach Somewhere and Paul MacDonnell by 4. Top 25 to Canada's horse. Some Beach Somewhere, and he's home in 1:49.
The Beach is going to win. Cut 32 and win it by about 3.5. The time 1:49 and 2. That's a world record.
Some Beach Somewhere, he is heading down to the wire. Some Beach Somewhere, MacDonnell pushes him home. 1:46 and 4, equaling the world record.
Just 7 minutes to go before.
Number 3 is Some Beach Somewhere, handled by Paul MacDonnell, the trainer Brent McGrath, caretaker Rhonda McGrath, and the owners the Schooner Stables. Starters called the field to the gate for tonight's 7th race. They're moving into position. It's post time. The horses are in behind the gate, a field of 8 for the Ontario Sire Stakes Super Final. Here they come. And they're off, and a good beginning for Some Beach Somewhere as he is fastest off the wings of the gate. A costly break getting away from the gate, however, for a million pennies. As they move in front of us here at Woodbine, it is Some Beach Somewhere sent right after command by Paul MacDonnell, and away second towards the inside as they race to the quarter. Getting into that second spot as they charge over to the quarter pole is Lucky Man. With a ringside seat to the battles from third is Trade Editor, quarter in 27 seconds. Then back there racing along from in fourth as they move across the tunnel and head to the backstretch is Doug's Fame. Another 2 lengths back at the inside now. Racing along from in fifth as they get ready for the backstretch is Keystone Horatio. Further back to the Mohegan Pan. Then also in the backfield races along Deuce Sealster. And far behind after that problematic start is A Million Pennies. The quarter is 27 seconds, and high stepping to the half is Some Beach Somewhere. Some Beach Somewhere gets them there in 54 and 2/5 seconds, and he heads towards the far turn here at Woodbine. It's Paul MacDonnell and Some Beach Somewhere getting ready for the final turn here at Woodbine, and he's got a 5-length lead on the others. Back in second is Lucky Man. He is more or less cutting out his own mile. Then back in third as they prepare for the final turn, that is Trade Editor. A gap of another 4 lengths back towards the inside as they move around that far turn to Doug's Fame, and they're on their way to 3/4. Some Beach Somewhere trips the teletimer there in 1:21. Off the turn and into the stretch. The stuff that legends are made of turns for home. Some Beach Somewhere is kicked away to a 10-length lead now for MacDonnell, and he brings the field towards the 7/8 mile marker. This is Some Beach Somewhere, and he is the pacer that is super freaky. Some Beach Somewhere is kicked away now to a 12 or 13 length lead into the final 16th. Here he is, Some Beach Somewhere to win the super final, adding to his star-studded resume, and he wins in 1:50 and 3/5. Keystone Horatio, a long-distance phone call back in second. Coming on for third was Trade Editor. Returning to get his picture taken after tonight's Ontario Sire Stakes Super Final score. It's number 3, Some Beach Somewhere, a 3-year-old son of Mach 3 from Where's the Beach by Beach Towel, owned by the Schooner Stables of Bible Hill, Nova Scotia. Trained by Brent McGrath, driven to victory tonight by Paul MacDonnell, who notches his 3rd Super Final of the night. 13th win of the season in 14 tries after a perfect 6-for-6 rookie campaign. It is Some Beach Somewhere, feated once again as he is crowned the champion of the Ontario Sire Stakes Super Final in the 3-year-old pacing colt and gelding division. We'll have Mr. Aaron Dobbin, Senior Advisor for Policy and Research, to make the trophy presentation to the winning connections, as a throng of fans have made their way to the paddock area to catch a glimpse of unquestionably one of the greatest pacers to ever look through a bridle, at least in our generation. Comparisons have been made, of course, to the great Niatros and Camfella and Albatross. Those certainly are not far-fetched statements based on what this guy's been able to do in his racing career. A brilliant rookie season, and he's followed it up with an even more brilliant 3-year-old campaign. Congratulations.
I have Brent McGrath with me, and the reason I was going after Paul MacDonnell, I thought he was leaving, and I wanted him to maybe try and sum up in one word the trip that he's been on. He said, I don't think I can do it in one word. So I thought, you know what, okay, give me a phrase, and he said, the horse of a lifetime. Brent, I mean, you have to definitely echo those sentiments.
Oh, yeah, no question. He is definitely a horse of a lifetime, a horse of 10 lifetimes probably. I mean, I look at the trainers that have trained 50, 60, 70 horses their whole lives and never had a horse like this. And, you know, maybe we've never seen a horse like him. The trip he went here tonight was just unbelievable. He's 3 weeks off. He hasn't raced in 3 weeks. He's got to be a little bit short. He'd probably be a little tighter next week at the Meadowlands after this race tonight. And he just did it on his own. His earplugs are still in.
Yeah, he didn't need to pull them at all.
No.
You know, we go all the way back, as we just a quick recap of the season, all the way back to that first qualifier way back in the spring, and then he had the bruise issues and the whole scheduling, which he took a little bit of criticism of. I mean, you stuck to your guns as far as where you were going to go. It's been a long season.
Yeah, it has, and I mean, I stuck to my guns because I wanted the horse to look like he looked tonight late in the year, and I mean, it's worked, and you can only go to the well with these horses so often, and I chose my races. I chose the races that were important, what I thought were important for the horse and for the group, and it's worked out.
It has worked out extremely well. So you're off to the Breeders' Crown next week, and then right to the breeding shed with him.
Yep, Breeders' Crown and right to the breeding shed, exactly.
And then you're off and running as far as you need a break too? I mean, it's been a long year for you as far as traveling, living out of a suitcase a lot of the time.
It has. I mean, it's going to be very sad to see it over, and we spend so much time with him. It's going to be really different without having him in our life. I mean, he has been our life since he came into our life, and we're certainly going to miss him. But I mean, it's time to move on, and he's going on to a new career, and I think he'll have as big an impact in the breeding shed as he said on the racetrack.
Do you remember exactly what it is when you saw him when you bought him as a yearling that caught your eye?
Yeah, I mean, his overall presence, and if you look at him today, if you look at him on the racetrack there, he stands out. He clearly does stand out, and he stood out. And I didn't have a lot of money to spend when I went to that sale, and I was sticking my head in stalls, and I wasn't really looking for a great big horse. I wanted a horse that had a presence about him, and this horse has a presence about him. And there's lots of smaller horses than him that have been great horses, and had he been smaller, I still would have bought him. As it turned out, like he's grown into be a great horse. He was a good-sized horse when I bought him, but it was his overall presence that I was really impressed with, and I really wanted an Ontario sired horse. That was first and foremost, and we really found an Ontario sired horse.
Indeed, you did. One that's made over $3 million. Brent, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee.
Okay, Brent McGrath sending out Some Beach Somewhere. That's it on Canadian soil. Chris, he's off to the Breeders' Crown.